Next thing we got here is from the Reddit. And let me go ahead and read what they said here. This was posted by Feline Byline. Most embarrassing, incredibly embarrassing for CNN, Lanny Davis tells BuzzFeed he was a source for a CNN story, which he now refutes, about Cohen claiming that Trump knew in advance about Trump Tower meeting. So we're going over to RussiaGate, folks. Buckle in. All right, so this is from the Reddit, and here's the Twitter thread they wanted us to share. This is from Aaron Matei. Aaron Matei works for The Real News. He also had an experience. He was at Democracy Now! Before that. He's a good journalist. I like Aaron Matei a lot. So here, incredibly embarrassing for CNN. This is from his tweet. Lanny Davis tells BuzzFeed he was a source for a CNN story, which he now refutes, about Cohen claiming that Trump knew in advance about Trump Tower meeting. CNN has stood by the story, even as Lanny Davis has also revealed he was the source for stories in the Washington Post and New York Post that confirm CNN's. How can they now? What is all the more embarrassing for CNN is that they appear to have lied, or more generously, blatantly misled in their July 26 story to cover up the fact that Davis was a source. In that story, they claim that Davis declined to comment. This is one of the biggest RussiaGate media gaffes to date, and there have been too many to count. That's true. And yet another teachable moment for many other outlets who have ran with every explosive story under the sun, with no questions asked. Aaron is right. There have been so many media gaffes in this. There have been journalists that have resigned over it because their reporting was so negligent and irresponsible. They had to quit their jobs. There's those 3 people at CNN. They had to leave their jobs. People have smeared others with no consequence. Malcolm Nance smeared Jill Stein, claimed she was an agent of RT, that she's getting paid by RT. She's not. She does not have a show on RT. That was just a straight up lie. A lie that could be checked by just checking their channel program. Nothing's been retracted. There have been no consequences. You look at these articles assigning blame to Russian bots or Russian troll farms, and then you go to the 6th or 7th paragraph and they admit that they don't actually have a connection. In some cases, they don't have a connection to Russia at all. In other cases, there's no common theme, so these aren't some people trying to hijack an election. These are just spammers. These are just content spammers. That's all. And there's content spammers in Russia. There's content spammers here in the United States. There's content spammers in pretty much every other country. It's a money-making scheme. And we cover a lot of these stories over on the Jimmy Dore Show, where we take an article, and you know, the analogy I made, when I was in grad school, they teach you a speed reading technique. When it comes to a lot of this RussiaGate hyperbole, I use a reading technique where I read the headline, which is usually grossly misleading, then I go to about the 7th or 8th paragraph where they admit that there's no connection. They actually tell you the truth. And you look at the indictments that are going on now. None of this has anything to do with RussiaGate. It's money laundering and misappropriation of funds and hush money. Is it corruption? Hell yeah, it is. Is the Trump camp behaving like an innocent party? Hell no, they're not. Why? Because, of course, they're guilty of white-collar crimes. Are you kidding? We've been saying since day one, they're probably going to get them on money laundering. One of the charges, money laundering. Donald Trump is an incredibly corrupt oligarch. If special services are on him, you think they're not going to find anything? Of course they're going to find something. But why is RussiaGate dangerous? Well, because it has been used as a distractathon, A, from actual issues, and B, it has been used to suppress other voices. Everything that's going on right now with Facebook suppressing anti-war web pages, with Facebook suppressing anti-war voices. People try to share Jimmy Dore videos, they get blocked out of Facebook. That has happened. That's all because of it. This can all be traced back to RussiaGate. All this is happening because of RussiaGate. The fact that Mark Zuckerberg is now meeting with CIA people and government officials, it's all because of RussiaGate. And what do you call when the government marries corporations? That's fascism. That is textbook definition fascism. It's linked to RussiaGate. That's why this is dangerous. And when you parrot the RussiaGate ideas uncritically, and you're on the left, you're being a useful idiot. You really are. And if there's some evidence that comes to the surface that changes all this, I'm open. But it's been 2 freaking years. 2 years. And they got everything. And all they have are unrelated charges. That's all they have. Meanwhile, all of the Orwellian consequences that are going on, as a RT having to register as a foreign agent, Silicon Valley determining what is and isn't free speech. That's all because of this. And those are some dangerous effects, especially when we live in a time where we need a grassroots revolution more than ever before. We need one. It's not that, well, it's not, no, we need one. We frickin' need one. And if we can't share information as easy and freely as possible, it's going to stop that in its tracks. That's why net neutrality is so important. That's why a free and open internet is so important. That's why RussiaGate does have some very dangerous cyclical effects. And that's why we talk about it a lot. These are all connected. And a lot of people are failing to see those connections. And I don't get it. You have let Trump steal your critical thinking skills. That's what you've done. That's just simply what you've done. If you don't see the dangerous effects of something like RussiaGate, and if you don't see how it's just a sensationalized hyperbole by the corporatocracy, this is their last-ditch effort at retaining relevancy. You're either choosing not to on purpose, or you're just... I think you're missing the bigger picture, and this is going to... It has already done more harm than good, and that's not going to change. Because it's pretty much done no good. Is it good that Trump's under fire? Yeah, to an extent. But again, none of these charges have anything to do with RussiaGate. So thank you for sharing that over on the Reddit. Much appreciated.
Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. Get your news on with Ron. Don't you want to know what's going on? We're getting our news on today. You can tweet me an article at Ron Placone. We'll go through it together and